What's good, everybody? In today's video, we're talking about the art, the science, and the technique behind the perfect shave. Primarily because in our country, there's no guidelines when it comes to shaving. No parent is gonna go like, "Chalo beta, aaj saath mein shave karte hain. Let's shave together." Instead, they tell you this: "Mera razor use kiya, baal rough niklenge tere." Baal rough niklenge. Your coarseness or smoothness of your beard is dependent on your genetics. So if your dad has a coarse or smooth beard, you'll get a coarse or smooth beard. And if your mom has a coarse or smooth beard, that's just really weird. So you guys know what I mean. Today's video is primarily meant for the everyday bro, especially if you're one of those younger bros who doesn't know how to go about their shave. Today's video is for you. It starts with figuring out how coarse your beard is and whether or not you need to shave. So at what point do you really need to start shaving? Firstly, you've got to understand peach fuzz. It's this molester like little bits of facial hair that sprout up initially in your teenage. The first little bit of facial hair that you get that I'm sure you're super proud of, but trust me, it just makes you end up looking like a child molester. So get rid of it. Contrary to popular belief, contrary to what's thought of mostly that you should start shaving later on after school, that's not what I believe. So you should start shaving if you've got that peach fuzz mustache or those curled up hairs on your sideburns or anywhere on your face and just little patches of hair growing on yourself. It doesn't matter how old you are, but what does matter is that the universal rule of men's grooming is that you want to look neat and tidy. So either you let your beard grow out completely and take care of it, look neat with a fully grown beard, or else completely shave off your beard. Don't have that slightly patchy beard. It isn't making you look grungy. It isn't making you look like Wolverine. It's just making you look a little bit dirty. It's making you look like you haven't had a bath. That's something you want to avoid. Whether you're on the 8th, 9th or 10th standard, it's a safe time to shave. It's not going to get you pimples if you take care of your skin. That's why let's begin today's tutorial. So firstly, you've got to figure out whether you have a coarse and thick beard or a thin and patchy beard the way I do. In both cases, your essentials will stay the same. The good thing about having a thin beard is that you can shave super fast with maybe a little soapy water or even just a little bit of water and you can get away with it. But the older you grow, the thicker your beard gets, and that's when you got to start being careful. That's why let's start today's tutorial. So the 3 universal essentials you need are a good quality dipping bowl, a fantastic quality shaving cream, and the third, very importantly, a really good quality razor. That's also where today's video sponsor, the Gillette Mark III Turbo, comes into play. Once again, on BeerBiceps, we only recommend products that we genuinely believe in. Especially if you're a beginner in this whole shaving world, go for the Mark III Turbo. Firstly, the blades are extremely strong and durable, so they give you a very fine precision shave. You don't have to keep grazing your face with the razor and damaging your skin. Just 1 or 2 strokes does the job for you. Secondly, the blades are mounted on a spring, and that adjusts according to the corners of your face, so it helps you get to those tricky spots. And thirdly, very importantly, you have the comfort strip on top of the razor. So this soothes the skin after the blades have done their job of shaving your face. So finally, let's get to the actual shaving process. So firstly, you've got to make sure that your blades on your razor are still sharp. If you shave with a blunt razor, you're making yourself more prone to cutting yourself. So in order to make sure that the blades are still sharp, you've got to look at the comfort strip. If the comfort strip hasn't worn out yet, if it's not white yet, that means you can still use this razor. But the moment it gets white, replace that razor blade. Now, before you get to the details of the shaving process, understand that your dipping bowl is crucial. Instead of wasting water by keeping the tap on continuously, just fill the dipping bowl a little bit, and after every shave, after the blade is kind of full of shaving cream and a few hairs, you can wash that blade in that dipping bowl. So after 2 or 3 strokes of shaving, dip your razor in that dipping bowl, get rid of all the dirt, and come back to shave with a sharp razor blade. So now that you've got all your procedural elements in place, let's talk about the actual shaving process and how I do it in a way such that I get a good shave, but at the same time I make it practical by saving on time. So usually what I do is that I shave immediately after my shower. Immediately after a shower, the pores on the skin of your face are completely opened up, and very importantly, your facial hairs become kind of softened because of all that steam from your shower. That makes your shave a lot easier, quicker and safer. You start by applying just a little bit of shaving cream on your foam brush. Why just a little bit? A lot of guys make this mistake of applying too much shaving cream. When you're overdoing it with your shaving cream, it doesn't give you a fine shave. It doesn't allow the blade to reach the skin of your face and shave off those hairs that are meant to be shaved off. If you apply a lot of shaving cream, you might have to keep stroking your face in order to get rid of the hairs. So you just want to apply a thin but even layer of shaving cream on your face, and that's where you can begin your shaving process. Now also keep in mind another optional element, especially for you bros with a very coarse beard, is a slight kind of oil. So some people like putting coconut oil, baby oil, or even better, you get these pre-shaving oils that you can put on your face just to kind of lubricate your entire face. But usually in most cases, especially in India, considering Indian genetics, if you just have a shower, that does the job of softening up your face skin. So now that we're done with the details of shaving, you guys need to understand the concept of grain. Shaving with the grain, along the grain, across the grain, against the grain. What the hell is the grain? So firstly, think of this as the surface of my face. Now a hair grows outside the surface of a face. Keep in mind, a hair doesn't grow straight out, it's always slightly bent. Now if you decide to shave the hair like this, along the same direction in which the hair is growing, that's called shaving with the grain. If you decide to shave it against the direction of growth, that's called shaving against the grain. And if you shave it perpendicular, that's called shaving across the grain. Now what do? This depends primarily on the thickness and coarseness of your beard. If your beard is thin and smooth like mine is, usually shaving along the grain, that's shaving in the direction of growth, does the job for you. So your first option should always be shaving along the grain. It's a very safe way of doing things, and it makes sure that you're not prone to getting acne or rashes after your shave. Secondly, if your beard is slightly thicker than just a fine beard like mine, you can try shaving across the grain. That's perpendicular to the growth of the grain. Usually for most Indians at least, shaving once along the grain and once across the grain is enough. But if you're someone who has a very coarse beard, that's when you need to shave against the grain. So in tricky spots of your face, especially in spots like your neck, you sometimes need to shave against the grain. Now the downside to doing this is sometimes you get issues like acne, sometimes you get issues like ingrown hair. But keep in mind, once again, this boils down to cleanliness. If you've shaved against the grain and then you touch your face with dirty hands after your shave, that's what leads to infections and ingrown hairs and rashes and all that. And this is where your post-shaving routine comes into play. Now before we get to the post-shaving rules, you need to understand 3 important pointers. Firstly, if you're a younger bro who doesn't have a completely grown beard and you only have facial hair in a few spots of your face, only shave those spots of your face. You don't want to overdo it on other parts of your face thinking that, hey, if I shave here, my beard will grow out from there. It doesn't work like that. Your beard is going to grow out only when your genetics allow it to. And for most people, like myself included, my beard still hasn't come completely. It happens sometimes after the age of 25, after the age of 26. It's about being patient. The second pointer you've got to keep in mind is that if you're someone who suffers from acne, don't shave over your acne. That's where a good quality razor like the Mark III Turbo comes into play. You can dodge your acne using a good quality razor. Do not shave over your acne. It might get infected, it might get worse, and worst of all, it might leave some permanent scars on your face. And the third very important tip is that you don't want to miss out on the tricky spots of your face. Most guys in this process of shaving miss out on tricky spots like the corner of your face, your neck, under your lips. All those spots are very crucial in order to look neat and tidy. Remember, you're going for a clean shaven look because you want to look tidy. If you miss out on all those tricky spots and just leave these little blobs of hair all over your face, you won't end up looking tidy. You'll look even worse than you did before shaving. So make sure you get those tricky spots. And now we can move on to the post-shave routines. Your post-shave routine can go one of 3 ways. Firstly, you need to understand the biology of your face after a shave. Most probably your pores are completely opened up and you're prone to infection. So your job is to close the pores on your face. The first way of doing it is applying an aftershave lotion. This is alcohol based and it's kind of like a disinfectant. So when you put it on your face, it immediately closes all the pores and shuts off the possibility of infection. Now usually aftershaves have a very strong scent which a lot of people may not like. Your other option instead of using an aftershave is using a good quality perfume or cologne. Go for this, it does the same job as an aftershave. And the third and final option, if you don't want to go for an aftershave or a cologne, you can go for a simple face wash. But keep in mind, you want to wash your face with cold water. Cold water does the same job as these other 2 options. It ends up closing your pores. It's doing the same job as an aftershave or a cologne, but it's meant primarily for people with sensitive skin or someone who's prone to acne. For all you young bros, go for this method of doing things. You can also apply cologne after washing your face. But keep in mind that washing your face should be a morning habit for every single man, irrespective of your age. That's what you've got to remember. And the final step when it comes to the shaving process, very importantly, is respecting your tools. You've got to respect your razor blade. So firstly, dip it in your shaving bowl and then wash the razor under running water. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can take some liquid soap, apply it on your razor and then wash it under water. And finally, you've got to keep in mind that you've got to dry your razor. Remember, water on a metal exposed to air causes rust to accumulate on a metal. And if you shave with a rusted razor, that's gonna ruin the health of your face. Either way, my bros, this was your big brother Ranveer teaching you the basics about shaving, something that no one ever taught me and that I had to figure out myself. You guys have BeerBiceps. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Remember, links to all the products are in the description below. And until next time, guys, from Ranveer, we'll see you later.